Why was Peter Mandelson arrested earlier this week, and what do we know so far? Well, Peter Mandelson was arrested on Monday on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Now, the misconduct in public office bit relates to his associations with Jeffrey Epstein and what he might have potentially shared to him during his time whilst he was in government. Now, whilst he was arrested, he was questioned for about 8 hours and then was released on bail. And Lord Mandelson has denied any wrongdoing and has maintained that position from the start. Now, this idea of, you know, misconduct in public office was something that the Metropolitan Police were going to investigate, and he was going to come in for questioning for around early March. So in about 4 nights' time, he was going to come in. But something changed between, you know, the plan of bringing him in for questioning and his arrest. And that is that the Metropolitan Police had received information and was being told that he was preparing to flee the UK and head to the British Virgin Islands. His lawyers came out straight away, and as soon as the kind of arrest had been concluded, they came out and said that this was a baseless suggestion. And the idea was that why would Manson leave? He was going to come in for questioning anyways. And there was no reason for him to kind of want to leave. And like I said, this was a baseless suggestion. So the question is, who made that suggestion and who shared that information to the Metropolitan Police? And that is Lindsay Hoyle, the Speaker of the House of Commons. Now, he told MPs earlier today himself, and he said that it was him who passed on the information to police, and he said that he had done so in good faith and that it was his responsibility and it was his duty to do so. Now, what makes this particularly interesting is that it wasn't actually supposed to be known that he had shared the information to the Metropolitan Police. And that is because the Metropolitan Police had actually revealed that information by mistake. Now, they've now come out and they've apologized, saying that they're sorry for inadvertently revealing information and that it was a mistake, essentially. So that wasn't supposed to be known. It wasn't supposed to be public knowledge. But of course, Lindsay Hoyle had to come out and kind of explain his decision and his choice. But all in all, this arrest of Peter Mandelson comes at a time where, there is talks of the Mandelson files being released. That is something that the MPs had voted for. And the Mandelson files, as a reminder, relates to what information was known about Peter Mandelson and his potential associations with Jeffrey Epstein and what kind of that relationship looked like, not only during his time in government, during the Brown years, but more particularly and more specifically, what Keir Starmer knew before appointing him as a ambassador. And that's a key piece of information because that did come up in questioning and interviews as part of his appointment for this Labour government. So that information will be brought to life, and it will to some extent resemble the kind of public release of the Epstein files. But more specifically and more interestingly rather is that this incident of an arrest for Peter Mandelson comes at a similar time as Andrew, the King's brother, also being arrested, which I made a video on. So make sure you check that out if you want to get information on that. But you've got, Andrew, the King's brother, and his associations with Jeffrey Epstein. You have Peter Mandelson and his associations with him too. So there's this kind of triangle that the kind of police are trying to unpack, uncover, and this all puts pressure on Keir Starmer, who earlier was fighting for his position as Prime Minister and was hoping that this story would go away. But after this arrest of Peter Mandelson, it seems as though it's starting to build more and more pressure on the Prime Minister, especially when those files get released, and that will be under scrutiny, not just from MPs, but from the press as well as the public. Now, let me know in the comments below what you think about this arrest, what you think about Andrew's arrest, what you think about this situation. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.